Hey, what's up guys, this is Mac. Welcome to NCR India free video tutorial channel on YouTube. Here in this tutorial I'm gonna continue my previous program. Okay, now here you can see we have already discussed about the if structure, and with the help of this if I'm gonna make a user menu for our users. Okay, so let's say my current value of I is 1. Now if it is 1, now in this case I'm gonna use if else if ladder. Okay, I'll show you what is if else if ladder. It is different from the basic simple structure of if else. The first one is same. The first condition, let's say the first condition is if I is equal to 1, then it will execute the first statement, and according to the first statement it will print my first message on screen as menu for the user, and it says press plus to add the numbers. User will see this message on screen whenever this statement will be executed. Okay, and after this if I want four operations to for my calculator to operate, right? So for that I have to type 4 messages on screen continuously. So I have made the if for I. If I is equal to 1, then it will print this, right? Now let's say my I will become 2. In that case I'm gonna write else if. This is if else if ladder structure, and that's I'm gonna show you how to make an if else if ladder structure. Whenever you will be having multiple conditions, right, not only 2 but more than 2, in that case we'll be using if else if ladder structure. Okay, and our second condition is if I is equal to 2. In that case it will print our second message on screen like that, press minus to subtract the numbers. Okay, now let's say my current value of I is not 2 but it is 3. I change it by some way. Now for the third condition, again I'll have to write else if I is equal to 3. Yes, now if it is true, then it will execute this statement, and it will print the third message on screen, says press start to multiply numbers. Okay, now let's talk about the else. Now the last, it's a last message that I have to print. Now if all of the above conditions are not true, let's say this value is 4 or something else, right, let's say it is 5, then all of these conditions will be proved. None of these conditions will be satisfied, and the control will automatically comes to the else block, the last block, and here we don't need to write any condition. You can only provide your task here, that press / to divide the numbers. Okay, now if I will, let's say the current value is again 1. I've changed it back to the 1. Now in this case it will only print this message. Alright, let's execute this program and see by yourself. Yeah, right. Now if it was 2, it would have print the second statement, right? Now if it was 3, it would have printed the third statement, press multiply to multiply the numbers, right? But actually so that's the way I have to, but I want all of these 4 messages to be printed on screen for the user to choose his desired option to perform any of these 4 operations, right? So for that I'll have to, this value of I should be changed dynamically during the runtime or the execution time of the program, right? So to make it, so to change this value of I dynamically, I'll have to use another concept or another set of structure set of iteration statements that called the iteration statement, and I'll have to use iteration statement for it if I want to make the change dynamically in this variable called I. For that I'll have to use one of the iteration statement. There are three kinds of iterations, and the first one is for, another one is while, and the last one is do while. Okay, so I'm gonna use for here. Now the syntax of the for is something like that. Inside the for, there are three parts of the for. In the first part, you'll have to declare a variable, and even you'll have to initialize it in that part. This is called initialization part. Okay. Now here, not only this, you can even have you can even already declare your variable outside the for loop like this, I. Okay, and after that you'll have to initialize in the first part of your for loop. This is the syntax, and to terminate the first part you'll have to use a semicolon. Okay, and in the second part you will have to put some condition, or this is also called the conditional part, where a boolean expression will be written and it will check for the condition. If the condition will be true, then only it will execute the statements contained inside the for block. I'll show you the for block again. First of all, see the second statement. Let's say my I have initialized it with the value 1, and the condition is if I is less than 5, then only it will execute the set of these instructions, which is called if else if ladder. Okay, so why did I use 5 here? Because if I use 5, I'll tell you just after a few seconds that why did I use 5 here. Let's talk about the last part, which is called counter part. In the counter part, we are actually we can actually change the value of variable dynamically during the runtime. So that's the way we're going to change or increment the value of variable I. Okay, now I'm going to start this block of for loop, and I'm going to contain this if else if ladder structure inside this for loop. Okay, like that. Now here you can see that this for loop basically contains this if else if ladder structure. Am I right? This is the ending of for loop, end of for loop, and this was the start of for loop, beginning of for loop. Okay, I'm sorry, not here. Okay, so now how will it work? The control, first of all, it will see the initialization part. The current value of I is 1, right? Then it will go to the conditional part, which will check for the condition that if your current value is less than 5, yes, it is less than 5, and now the control will come inside the for loop, and it will execute this if else if ladder. Because the current value of I is 1, it will print this message on screen, right? And after printing this message on screen, it will go back to the for loop, and now it will go back to the third part of the for loop called counter part, and here it will increment the value of I by 1 with the help of this postfix increment operator called plus plus. Okay, as you can see there, it's plus plus. Now the current value of I will become 2, and in the same way, after it will check for the condition. Yes, the condition is true because 2 is less than 5. It will again execute this if else if ladder, and it will control will first check if the I is equal to 1. No, now the current value is 2, it is not equal to 1, so it will not execute this statement. It will come to the else if block, the second else if block, where this statement is this condition is true, and it will print this message on screen. In the first case, when I was 1, it was already printed this message on screen, and now in the second case when the I is 2, it will print this case, and so on. It will print the 4 messages on screen. Okay, until the value, till I will become 4. Okay, let me tell you guys, the I, then when the I will become 4, it will again, the condition will be true. But what after the I will become 5? In that case, it won't execute this for loop, because this condition comes out to be false in the case of when the value will become, and the value of I will become 5. Okay, because 5 is not less than 5. Condition is false, it will terminate the loop, and it will comes out of this loop, and after that it will execute your program. So in that way we are actually making our program, our if else if ladder structure, to execute 4 times, so that it can print these 4 messages on screen for the user to choose his desired operation. Right, now run this program and see the output. The output is this: press 5, that calculator is showing you the menu, that press plus to add the numbers, plus minus to subtract the numbers, press multiply to multiply the numbers, press forward slash to divide the numbers. Okay, so that's all about this tutorial. I'm going to continue the same program in our next tutorial, so keep watching NCR India tutorial channel on YouTube. And let me again remind you guys, please do make comments after my videos, so that I could get to know if my videos are helping you in a correct way or not. Thank you, bye bye, thanks for watching.